Hello, everyone.
TikTok? Is that you?
Yeah, we're TikToking, we're YouTubing. What's up, YouTube? We missed you going live with you. Oh my gosh. It's okay, you can fix it real quick. What's up, everybody on TikTok? If you don't mind to go ahead and follow us on Instagram. That's where we'll be answering questions, but I'll be making sure to take a look at TikTok throughout the live to make sure we're answering your questions as well. But if you want to be part of the giveaway that we're going to do in just a little bit, following on Instagram is a spot to be. Instagram is where you can participate in the giveaway today. We're going to give away a couple of memberships to the sisterhood. So Tallinn is setting up the Instagram, but for those watching, let us know if you have any questions right now. If you want us to start off with any question to start the live, we'd love to. What's
Sisters!
What is up, sisters?
How are we?
Yeah,
Tell us the scoop.
please tell us. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
What have you been up to?
I know.
What are you doing? Are you eating gluten and dairy free? Are you having a breakfast that's high in protein? Tell us all the details about your PCOS journey.
Hello to Hina. Hello to Hadi. Hello to What Claudia Eats. Hi to Bibraham. Is softball bad for PCOS? I mean, I don't think so. Softball, I mean, it
sounds fun.
Yeah, you don't do a lot of running. I mean, you run when you're obviously going after the ball or going around the bases, but for the most part, it's more stationary. So that's good. That's great.
Lost 15 kilograms. Tell us how.
Yeah, that's great. Congratulations on your success, sister. How to find root cause of PCOS? Well, there can be several different root causes, but we highly recommend to take our quiz. It's in the highlight section. And basically with the quiz, it can help you find what your PCOS type might be. And it can give you some next steps from there to know exactly where to, focus on your PCOS journey.
I want to read you a text I got from my friend today. Okay. So she had been going to spin classes a lot because it was fun. I'm sure many of you have done cycling. You get all hyped up on the bike. It's a good time.
Yeah.
So she messaged me. She's like, so spin is a HIIT workout. And I told my doctor I lost 12 pounds out of nowhere when I stopped working out for a few months. And my skin was super clear. Then when I started again, I got a bad breakout. And she says, your body is releasing too much cortisol and holding on to fat and causing acne. So she stopped her spin and she lost 12 pounds and her skin got better. And I just think this is super relatable because I used to do kickboxing as well.
Yeah.
And I had the same problem. I didn't lose a single pound no matter how hard I tried. So if any of you have done CrossFit, cycling, Soul Cycle, sometimes it's not very PCOS friendly.
Yeah. And we could talk a little bit about that. And one of the reasons why it can be not as PCOS friendly is cortisol. It can spike. And the reason that's important is that a lot of women with PCOS have cortisol dysfunction. So when you wake up in the morning, you're supposed to have high cortisol. And then as you're going through your day, getting closer to the evening, your cortisol is supposed to wean off and your melatonin increases and you get ready for bed. This is like a natural circadian rhythm. But with women with PCOS, they can struggle to regulate that. So when you're doing intense workouts, you're basically just adding on to the fire that's already happening. There's already a dysfunction with cortisol regulation. So when you're now spiking cortisol later in the day with the intense workouts, now your body has even a much more difficult way of dealing with it.
Yes. It's one of the PCOS types too.
Yeah.
Adrenal fatigue, when you're constantly spiking stress hormones. It can be stressful.
Yeah. And then someone asked earlier about, can you explain inflammation with PCOS? Yeah, I'd love to actually. It would
be my pleasure. You go.
No, you. Maybe I can weave some stuff in, but you start.
Okay.
So inflammation and PCOS.
Inflammation. So what is it? Why is it a big deal? Well, inflammation is what happens given a specific lifestyle, diet, when we have these PCOS genes and we're put into a situation where we're eating inflammatory foods, gluten, dairy, sugar, we're having an inflammatory lifestyle, we're stressed out all the time, driving in traffic, going to school, working, chasing after kids, whatever. All of those things can be stressful and inflammatory. So getting poor sleep, I mean, the list goes on, right?
Yeah.
And not getting enough nutrients from the foods that we're eating because of the way that it's being farmed and so on. So anyways, all of this causes inflammation in the body. So for example, if you're eating gluten, you're eating dairy, and you're sensitive to it, it's going to cause an inflammatory response when it reaches your bloodstream.
Let's kind of break that down. What is an inflammatory response?
The inflammatory cytokines.
Yes. And if I could just add on to it, so there's two types of inflammation. There's acute inflammation and chronic inflammation. So imagine acute, when let's say you bang your elbow against the wall, maybe you cut something, it can get red and swollen around that area, right? That's your immune cells sending the white blood cells to that area to protect it, to make sure no further damage happens. That's what happens, and that's why areas get red. However, when you have chronic inflammation, that's basically when this immune response is active all the time, creating a battleground for inflammation, meaning you're always suffering from inflammation. Your immune system is working too much, causing the systemic inflammation to happen in the body.
So now we're all inflamed, right? You might feel puffy. You might feel bloated. It might come as cystic acne on your face or hair loss. Things like this can result from rashes on your skin and so on. Weird symptoms can start to happen, and you're wondering why.
Yeah.
And basically, this inflammation is going to trigger a stressful response in your body. Your body's going to say, we're under attack, and you're going to release more stress hormones.
Yeah.
And when your cells are inflamed, they're kind of numb to the hormone insulin.
Mm-hmm.
And insulin is the hormone that's supposed to give your cells the sugar in your bloodstream so your cells can burn it up, use it for energy, and so on. And so when insulin can't do its job, we eventually get insulin resistance after years and years of having inflammation. And so basically, now we have all these PCOS symptoms. So it all starts with inflammation somewhere, somehow, whether it's our environment, whether it's our genetics, whether it's our diet and our genetic response to our diet. All of these things are triggering the inflammation, which is leading to the metabolic dysfunction of PCOS and ultimately some sort of insulin resistance or sensitivity or autoimmune issue. Yeah. And I just want to talk about the symptoms that result: weight gain, acne, ovarian cysts. All of these are a result of what starts with inflammation. So everything we talk about is to reduce your inflammation, keep your stress hormones low, get that insulin sensitivity back so your metabolic dysfunction stops, struggling.
Yeah. Great explanation, babe. Adiba says, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for the motivation every day. Please know that we are here if you need us. What a sweet message, Adiba. You know what? We're going to give you a 1 month free in the sisterhood for that supportive message.
Oh.
It feels good for us to know that we have support. And I love that. And we want everyone to know you have support too from us. Anytime you need it, you can DM us, you can message us. So thank you, Adiba, for that sweet message. We will DM you with some details for the sisterhood. Okay, let's continue. Amazing podcast. I feel such relief. Almost every episode is such a relief because I think I knew the several doctors were wrong and I don't feel like I'm the crazy one. Thank you, says Sandraska. We appreciate it. So anyone who was wondering about what Sandraska was talking about, that's our podcast, A Sister and Her Mister. We talk about different PCOS topics every day. So highly recommend listening. Thank you, Sandraska, for your support. We really appreciate that. Okay. And then a fellow sister said her family doesn't support her. They make her feel like she's just eating too much and not trying hard enough. That's such a very common feeling because people don't understand.
It's a common misconception that women with PCOS gain weight because we eat too much and we're lazy and whatever, and all of the stereotypes that come with a person who may have gained weight. And honestly, it's not the truth. It's all about metabolic health. And, You may be struggling with your metabolism. And even if you're eating salads every day and working out and cycling every day, or kickboxing like I was, you're still not going to lose weight because you're not focused on your metabolism.
Yeah.
And that means your insulin levels and your stress levels and all of these things, this inflammation. Like if you focus on that, then you'll start losing weight. But if you're focused on the common ways that are suggested for weight loss, for example, cutting calories, then we're screwed.
Oh. Okay.
It's like, okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to go through all the comments and questions. I'm trying to really organize through it.
Okay.
Wolf Seeker says, I'm new to you guys, and I just want to say thanks for all these amazing contents. Absolutely, Wolf Seeker. Welcome to our page. Welcome to our community. We're always here to support you. Just so anyone knows, anyone that's new, actually, we should introduce ourselves maybe to any. So let us know in the comments who's new, who's been recently following us and things like that, but we can introduce ourselves. My name is Sirak. I am a PCOS personal trainer, and Talene, my wife right here, she's a PCOS dietitian. Of course, Talene started this platform to help spread awareness for women with PCOS, and I joined her basically in the last few years to help support her in spreading awareness. And today we create content. We have a podcast together. We create TikToks. We create reels. We basically do these lives together to basically help sisters like you learn about their PCOS so you don't feel like you're stuck, because we're really sick of people not feeling that they're getting the treatment that they deserve. We're sick of that. We're sick of women with PCOS having to go to the doctor and being told these things that they don't need to worry about it until they want to get pregnant, or just take birth control, just take metformin,
just lose weight,
stop asking these questions, and all this stuff. We're sick of it. We're trying to reverse that.
We're sick and tired.
We're
rewriting the narrative for sisters who are told to just lose weight by their doctors.
Exactly.
Rewriting it and telling you what that's about, what metabolic dysfunction is, and what you can do instead of blaming yourself.
Hell yeah. Exactly. And one of our approaches is going gluten and dairy free for PCOS. It doesn't mean that everyone with PCOS has to go gluten and dairy free, but from our experience working with our clients, as well as the latest information coming from doctors, from several books like PCOS SOS by Dr. Felix Gersh, how to reverse PCOS, 8 steps to reverse PCOS, and several other sources, we found gluten and dairy free to be very helpful, because one, it really helps to heal insulin resistance, because both gluten and dairy are 2 of the biggest food groups that can impact insulin resistance as well as inflammation. So we know that 80% of women with PCOS have insulin resistance. 80% have insulin resistance. And then almost all women with PCOS have chronic inflammation. So basically, we're trying to get down to these several root causes with diet and lifestyle, instead of focusing on things like birth control and metformin, which can just mask the root causes. If you have any questions about metformin or alternatives, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to talk to you guys about our favorite alternatives for metformin. Let's see some comments. There's a lot of questions. Can I lose 10 kilograms having PCOS?
You can.
Yeah.
I personally lost 30 pounds
Yeah.
when I had PCOS. Everyone still has PCOS, but okay. I lost 30 pounds after I was diagnosed with PCOS. It took me quite some time to figure out all the components that was playing into my metabolic dysfunction. Whether it was, oh my God, there were so many things I learned along the way that helped me slowly lose the weight. And we've compiled all of this into our programs, for example, our membership site. Basically, going gluten and dairy free, first things first. I went to so many doctors. I was in such denial. They were all telling me to go gluten and dairy free. And then finally I was like, okay, fine. And I did it. And it was amazing.
Yeah.
My skin, my bloating, my mood. I was a whole other person.
Yeah.
Reducing my stress levels, stopping overstudying, making sure I got better sleep, taking time for myself, making sure that life wasn't running me over. That was major.
Yeah.
Stopping the intense workouts, kickboxing and stuff. After I met Sirak, I learned slow weighted workouts, and the supplements and all of these things together, the Ovatol, the CBD to lower my stress and inflammation, all of these things together, and I lost 30 pounds, and I was back down to what feels like
The right way.
feeling like myself. Like, don't you just want to feel like yourself again?
Like you have control over your
don't want
body.
to lose weight by counting calories and like obsessing all the time. Like, you just want to eat and feel fine.
It's an airplane, babe.
God, that's a loud plane. You just want to eat and feel fine.
Yeah.
That's all.
And just to relate to that too, a message from Catherine. I'm 31 years old and I came across with your Instagram through Nabella. Shout out to Nabella. I'm in absolute shock because I've been diagnosed 10 years ago and the doctor never told me this. Do you think I can revert my PCOS?
Yes, you can.
Yes, so you can reverse your PCOS symptoms and put them into remission. Now, it doesn't mean that there's like a PCOS cure, and basically once you get there, you never have to worry about it.
Eat whatever you want.
But from what Talia was just talking about, she got to a point where she feels great, like she has control over her body, and she's found the diet that works for her. And that's what we talk about a lot of times, sisters, just finding a diet and lifestyle approach that's going to help you in a sustainable way so you can stick to that for as long as it takes to help keep your PCOS in remission and at bay. So for example, for Taling, that's gluten dairy free. For many thousands of sisters out there, like in the sisterhood, that's going gluten dairy free. They found that approach has really helped with, keeping symptoms in remission and helping to basically reverse PCOS through diet and lifestyle, through natural means.
We're so happy you found us.
Yeah.
Nabella is so nice.
Yeah, we love Nabella.
She has great content.
Zavi says, I am currently working on an article discussing how the environment impacts PCOS and lobby for better policies in our city to regulate the air pollutions we experience. Well, Zavi, please let us know when you release that article. We love to spread it on our stories and make more people aware about it. So yeah, please let us know when you release that. Okay.
If anyone has gone gluten and dairy free, please let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear about your journey, and we'll even go live with you. There's a feature on Instagram where we can share the screen. We want to hear all about how you're doing and all your progress, and you are an inspiration. So let us know.
Let us know, in the comments, and we'll go live. Question. I should mention. Hold on, sorry. There's a lot of things about Metformin and Ovatol. So let's talk about Metformin and Ovatol for a second. So Metformin is a prescription that most sisters, when you go to the doctor and they see that you have insulin resistance or maybe some weight gain with PCOS, they'll basically prescribe what's called Metformin. Now, Metformin comes with a bunch of side effects, and it also doesn't get down to the root cause of the insulin resistance. Now, when it comes to an alternative, our favorite supplement for PCOS is something called Ovatol, and it's mainly for sisters who are struggling with insulin resistance, and it's been shown to help improve not just insulin resistance, but also fertility, ovulation, egg quality, period regularity, and and there's even research studies So Ovatol is an inositol supplement. You okay? It keeps on going into my eyes.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. So Ovatol is basically a inositol supplement. Basically, it's composed of 40-to-1 ratio of myo and D-chiroinositol. Now, why is this important? That's the ratio found in the body. So when that ratio gets out of whack, that's when insulin resistance occurs. So by taking Ovatol, it helps to get that ratio back in sync. Now, I think that's okay. There's even research studies comparing inositol supplements to Metformin, and they had the same exact results, except that Metformin has 5 times the amount of side effects. So same results, but the prescription has 5 times the amount of side effects, which is why we like to go with a natural option. And there's a lot of research studies showing the benefits of inositols. So
look at this message from Anna. My doctor said there wasn't enough clinical research for me to switch from Metformin to Ovatol.
Yeah, see, that's not true.
Not all doctors, in fact, most doctors are not aware of the new body of research around PCOS, and they're still telling us to lose weight and take birth control and ignore our symptoms until we decide to get pregnant. There's a really poor approach going on towards PCOS, and we're trying to change that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just extremely frustrating because doctors aren't taught nutrition and metabolic dysfunction and all of this about PCOS. And so their approach is, just take this pill.
Yeah.
Or take metformin, because that does treat the root cause of PCOS. It's treating the insulin resistance. But what about supplements? What about other natural ways to treat insulin resistance? Like when you're diabetic, if someone is diabetic, they don't just take medication. There's a whole lifestyle component around reversing that or healing that. And the same thing goes for PCOS. So the more you ignore it, I just want everyone to know, the more we ignore PCOS, the bigger it can snowball.
Yeah.
And even if you take birth control, once you're off of it, all the symptoms can come back with a vengeance. Trust me, I've done it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fun. The cystic acne was real. So you can take this with birth control as well.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, if you're interested in Ovatol, we have the link in the highlights section called Ovatol. You can see all the testimonials, and you get 15% off when you use our PRC code. So yeah, we love Ovatol. It's our go-to option for Inositol supplements, and it's basically our favorite supplement for PCOS, especially, if you have insulin resistance, it's our favorite supplement for PCOS. Let's see if we can go live with the sister. Oh, wait. Oh, it won't let me go live with her. Maybe she's not on anymore. Okay, let me go through here. Can I join your sisterhood from Canada? Absolutely, you can join from anywhere in the world.
Someone says, talk more about TheraCore.
Oh, the prenatal? Oh, okay, so that would be about, basically, she's asking about the prenatals and what we think about them, I guess.
Yeah, Theranatal Core is a prenatal for women who are trying to conceive, not women who are already pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the supplements made by Theralogics, one of our favorite supplement lines, because they make Ovatol. So they came out with TheraCore, and it has 2,000 IUs of vitamin D. It doesn't have DHA in it because you don't need that yet until you get pregnant. It doesn't have a lot of iron because you don't need that till you get pregnant. It contains the active form of folic acid, which is folate, and it is basically just designed for a woman who is trying to conceive, to get all the right micronutrients to increase your chances. So we also have a highlight with this information.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the highlight is.
I think it's called prenatal.
Prenatal?
Yeah, it's called prenatal.
So you can head over there to order it.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to say? Oh, somebody asked, how did you know you wanted to become a dietitian?
PCOS dietitian,
PCOS dietitian. Well, I had PCOS, and as I was studying to be a dietitian, I was struggling with PCOS. And it was really hard for people to believe that I was studying to be a dietitian because I was gaining weight exponentially and I could not control it. And that was hilarious. Laugh at my joke.
Sorry, I'm reading comments, so I don't know what you're saying. I have no idea what you're saying. I have to be honest with you. I'm barely listening.
I made a joke.
Words are going in this ear and coming out the other.
What's new?
I'm reading the comments, so I'm just completely focused on reading right now. And
so anyways, there I was in college studying to be a dietitian. I literally designed my own major. They had all the nutrition courses, but I designed my own major because they didn't have the major. And then I went off to grad school and I studied nutrition there. And I studied to become a dietitian. I did all my rotations and all these things. And the whole way through, maybe this 8 to 10 year period of time where I was still learning about all of the components that help heal metabolic dysfunction and PCOS and how I could incorporate them into my lifestyle without even thinking about it. And I'm still learning about things and trying to improve my diet. Lately, we've been eating a lot of pumpkin seeds because they literally have so much magnesium in it.
I remember last night you told me, so I just kept on eating them.
Magnesium is so good for PCOS, for helping with menstruation, making you not have as bad of cramps, getting your period on time, things like this, stress management, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So now with every dinner, I just overload it with pumpkin seeds. If there's a salad, we're putting pumpkin seeds in it. If, whatever's going on, pumpkin seeds. But, anyways, these little things you start layering into your lifestyle. And, eventually you're thriving with PCOS. And so
Yeah.
we show you on Instagram stories what we
Yeah.
do, what I do to inspire you.
Yeah. So some questions about Ramadan and fasting, and let's get to that. Before we do, there's a question about acupuncture. So we actually just released a whole new episode about PCOS and acupuncture on our podcast. So if you go to A Sister and Her Mister podcast, you'll see uh the podcast episode all about acupuncture with lead acupuncturist Megan Joyce. So please take a listen to that to hear more. Now, going back to Ramadan and fasting, so it's a great question. When it comes to fasting, we generally recommend if you're going to do fasting to stick around 12 hours because when you're going longer for like 14, 16 hours, it can become way too restrictive, basically to the point where it can affect your insulin resistance, metabolism, and so forth. So a 12-hour range is usually ideal. You can see how a 14 and 16-hour would affect you. But again, 12 hours is good. We have a whole episode on intermittent fasting if you want to hear more details. It's a great episode where we really dive into it. But I know with Ramadan, it's obviously you don't have like the freedom to decide how many hours or exactly when to do it. So that's just our general tip is like generally 12-hour fasting is good. So
This is a great question. Louisa, very confused about cutting gluten. Should we lower our carb intake? Is air popped popcorn or potatoes bad? Are eggs PCOS friendly?
great
Okay,
question.
this is a great series of questions, and I just sense the anxiety behind them, and I completely understand where you're coming from. So let's break this down. She says, confused about gluten-free. Should we lower our carb intake? So the first thing I would suggest is to go gluten-free, one meal at a time, right? Slowly start to swap things out and get yourself used to eating gluten-free. And then I would slowly start, swapping things out and getting used to dairy-free.
Mhm.
And then I would start focusing on carb intake. And this is the exact series of steps that we take in our membership program. We have a 5-stage success path. We teach you how to do all of these things, suggestions on how to eat out gluten and dairy free, how to discover your carb tolerance, because you don't have to cut your carbs completely. You can start at 150 grams, track on an app, and slowly lower it based on your symptoms. If you feel fatigued after your meal, if you feel energized, then if you're fatigued, you want to lower it a little bit. If you feel energized, you don't want to lower it. So you slowly discover your carb tolerance. And we have more details about that in our membership.
Carb tolerance.
Air popped popcorn is gluten-free. Potatoes are gluten-free. It's all about how much you're eating, how you're pairing it with protein and fat. That's going to affect its impact on your blood sugar. PCOS doesn't mean that carbs are bad. It just means that you have to know how to eat them, right? So we also talk about that in Discovering Your Carb Tolerance in the Sisterhood, our membership program. Are eggs PCOS friendly? Some people are sensitive to eggs, some people aren't. It's really up to you. Cutting them out, see how you feel. Adding them back in, see how you feel. So same with gluten and dairy, of course.
So someone also asked, can you talk about PCOS friendly workouts and losing weight with PCOS in the midsection? So it's a great question. Great question. I love it. Since I'm the PCOS personal trainer, I'll step in really quickly.
Step in.
So when it comes to PCOS friendly workouts, many sisters, I think they're told basically work out as hard as possible, burn the calories, and you'll lose weight. And I think that's really dangerous to say that to people because it makes them go into like this all or nothing mentality, and that's basically what we're not about at all. So what we like to do is get down to the root causes with the workouts. The workouts aren't about spending the most amount of time doing the workouts to burn the most. That's not what we're about. We're about getting down to the root issues to be smart about working out. So instead of doing the intense workouts like spin classes, HIIT, what other examples could there be? CrossFit, running for like very long periods of time. When you do exercises like that, what that can actually do is spike your cortisol hormone, your stress hormones, which can basically lead to more inflammation. It can affect your circadian rhythm. It can affect your stress levels so much. So we want to avoid that, first of all. Second, when you're doing a lot of intense workouts, it's also going to affect your insulin resistance. What happens when you do an intense workout is your body dumps sugar into the bloodstream to be used for energy. But when you're insulin resistant, your body is not good or efficient at converting it to energy. So what happens instead is that sugar gets stored as fat. So if you've been running for like days or weeks, hours at a time, and you're not losing weight, and maybe in fact you're thinking, oh man, I'm actually gaining weight, that could be your body is storing the sugar as fat, and therefore you're not really losing weight. Now the third aspect is the metabolism, metabolic dysfunction. Are we really improving metabolic dysfunction? So how do we see or cover all three of these areas, these three pillars at the same time? Show your nails. I saw the comment. You want to show it. Someone said, "Can I see your nails?" And Taling's face lit up. I can show my nails. And she was like this.
I was like, should I do this?
Should I do it slowly, like so that no one will notice?
Yes.
Anyway, so how do we do all these three things? Like, what's the best workout? I mean, there's no perfect workout for every single person, of course, but we like to do slow weighted workouts, which is basically weight training done in a slow fashion with light weights. Now, what this does is, one, improves your metabolism, because studies have shown that when you do weight training, it can permanently increase your metabolism because you increase your muscle mass, which forces your body to use up more energy. Because when you're just sitting down, your fat doesn't do anything. It just sits there. Whereas when you have muscle, your muscle, even when you're sitting, requires energy. It's twitching, it's working, it's doing a lot of things. So when you're just sitting down, your muscle will require energy. So the more lean muscle you have, the higher metabolism. Second is insulin resistance. More muscle can help your body to become more insulin sensitive. Now you're able to store the glucose better in your muscles. You basically have more sugar depot in your body as a result of the muscles that you're developing. And we're talking about lean muscles here. We're not talking about bulking up, becoming bodybuilders or things like that. Unless you want to, that's up to you. And then and because we're doing this weight training slow fashion, controlling our breathing, controlling our heart rate, we're keeping the stress hormones low. So that's basically all I'm going to say.
Great explanation, babe.
Thank you.
I see a great question here by Amalinda. What a nice name.
Amalinda!
She says,
Amalinda!
Literally got the news yesterday that I don't ovulate at all, but I still get my period every month. So the doctor said that it's called anovulation. Don't know what to do. My mind is spinning. So,
I didn't know those.
Okay, you can get your period and not ovulate, or you can not get your period and not ovulate. But anyways, the point is you can get yourself to ovulate. Don't panic. A lot of the reasons why women don't ovulate, especially with PCOS, is because of insulin resistance. Getting your blood sugar under control is going to affect your ability to ovulate, because if you have insulin resistance, insulin's going to trigger high testosterone in your ovaries, and that's going to cause your ovaries to not ovulate, and ovarian cysts might appear, string of pearls, and so on. So there are so many things you can do. Reducing inflammation will help your insulin sensitivity. So try going gluten and dairy free. Doing workouts that help with insulin sensitivity, like lifting weights. Also, taking Ovatol, literally on the package it says, improves egg quality and ovulation, because it's managing your blood sugar, and it's helping that in result is helping with your ability to ovulate. So blood sugar, ovulation, completely connected. And also, this comes in a 3-month supply because it takes 3 months to change the picture of your ovaries. Okay, so the life cycle between the follicle and then it being able to ovulate is about 3 months when it matures, right? It takes about 3 months for it to mature and ovulate. And within that 3 months, it needs to have the proper insulin levels, blood sugar control, inflammation, things like this, so that it doesn't impact it negatively and you don't end up not ovulating, right?
Yeah.
So that's why when you take this for 3 months, your ovulation will eventually come back. Sometimes people take it for 6 months. And I see a question saying, you need to ovulate? Yes, even if you don't want to get pregnant, ovulation is part of being healthy in general.
Yeah.
And that is why when we are just given birth control to manage PCOS, it is so wrong, because it's literally taking away your ability to ovulate and telling you that it's not important until you want to have kids. And then when you want to have kids, they're going to have a new medication for you to take. And then you're going to have to take that. So instead of focusing on healing it, you're basically being pushed to shove it down and take a pill instead. So we're trying to promote health and teach you guys how you can take your health into your own hands and control your hormones. And by managing blood sugar, you can certainly do this. Yeah. So that's why we love Ovatol. Yeah. And if you want to order it, we have a highlight called Ovatol, 15% off code. Yeah. And I'm obsessed with it. I've been taking it for years. It's literally like the supplement that we always talk about.
Yeah. And going off that, Robin says, hi there. Love your content. Absolutely love your page. I currently can't afford Ovatol. Is there anything else you can recommend? Well, Robin, we want to help you. So we want to give you a 3-month supply of Ovatol. So congrats. You are today's second giveaway winner. We're going to send you a 3-month supply of Ovatol, sisters. So congratulations. And for anyone wondering or maybe saying why I didn't win, don't worry. We do this giveaway every single time we go live. We go live 3 times a week. And every time we go live, we give away Ovatol. We give away memberships. So stay tuned for the next live if you didn't win today.
Someone says, how do I buy it? If you want to order it, it's in the highlight on our Instagram page called Ovatol with our 15% off code. You can just swipe up and order it.
Yeah, exactly. What's this week's giveaway? Is it?
I don't know. It's today. It's
okay. What is the difference between Inositol and Ovatol? So Inositol is like the basic supplement. So that's like saying vitamin D, right? And then Ovatol is the brand name. So imagine there's vitamin D and then there's Garden of Life vitamin D. So that's basically what the difference is. And why we love Ovatol specifically is because it has a 40-to-1 ratio of myo and D-chiroinositol. Now, a lot of sisters, they only take myo-inositol, and that's honestly based on the earlier research that happened longer time ago. Like the early research was specifically done on myo-inositol. However, the latest research incorporated D-chiroinositol, and now it's more widely recognized that a ratio of 40-to-1 myo and D-chiroinositol is more efficient because that's the ratio found in the body. Now, the other thing that we love about Ovatol, that it comes in a 3-month supply. Many other inositol supplements, they come in either a 1-month or 2-week supply, and it ends up costing so much more because you need to take it for several months to see the full benefits.
Someone says, do you have to take it forever? You don't. So it's a 3-month supply. You can take it for 3 months. If you feel like your insulin resistance is gone by then, that's great. If you feel like you still struggle with it, you can keep taking it for 6 months, a year, however long you want, as long as you're managing your insulin resistance, and you can stop taking it. Yeah. As long as you have the lifestyle that constitutes insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity. So if you're lifting weights, if you're eating a certain way that's really helping with your insulin sensitivity, you might not need to take it. Sometimes I eat too many carbs. I take my Ovatol. Yeah. It's there for me when I need it. So I've taken it, here and there a lot. I took it 3 months consistently, and that helped significantly back in the day. But it's always on hand.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with continuing.
Yeah. And like one thing too, so if you're one last thing, and then I think we're probably gonna head out. So if you're outside the country, or maybe you can't get your hands on Ovatol, or maybe if you think it's too expensive, just if you're looking for any other alternative, here's what to look for. One, you want to make sure that it is 40-to-1 myo to D-chiroinositol ratio, 40-to-1. So that's number one. Number two, you want to make sure that it comes in a 4,000 milligram daily supply. So you want to take 4,000 milligram daily supply, 2,000 in the morning, 2,000 in the evening with a meal. So 2,000 with breakfast, 2,000 with dinner. Now, third, here's what's really important is, one second. Here's what's really important is you want to make sure it's price efficient, because Ovasitol is something to take for 3 months, 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. So a lot of Inositol supplements are actually falsely advertised because they say it comes in a 30-day supply, but when you look at the daily dosage, it's only 1,000 milligrams. So you have to take 4 times what's on the daily dosage, and the bottle ends up lasting only 2 weeks. So you actually end up spending so much more money, because imagine it ends up costing double or whatever compared to if you just bought a 3-month supply. So that's what I would just suggest to look at. Make sure it comes in a 4,000 milligram daily dosage and is price efficient in that way. And of course, you always want to make sure it comes from a reputable source. Another reason we love Ovatol is that it's NSF certified, which is a third-party laboratory that makes sure everything is accurate and safe. So just make sure those criterias are filled out when you're looking for an Inositol supplement. Because at the end of the day, we just want you sisters to find what works for you. So if you can't get Ovatol, get another one, as long as if you feel it's going to help you. So
as long as it fits those criteria.
Yeah, those criteria.
Which is really hard to find. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, sisters.
Is that it?
This was so much fun. We will be live again
Friday.
Oh
yeah, Friday we're going live with prenatal nutritionist.
Yes.
So we're gonna talk about prenatal nutrition.
Yes.
It's gonna be very fun. So stay tuned if you're thinking of conceiving or you just want to learn about the best diet for conceiving and things of that nature. It will be on Friday around 10-11 a.m.
All right, sisters. We'll talk to you soon. It was
wait. And if you want to hear more from us, just go listen to our podcast, A Sister and Her Mister. I love y'all.
Love y'all.
Take care.
Bye.
Is that kind of creepy? Like,
no.
The way I say love y'all.